Hello, my dear students. Today I'm going to start Geography Chapter 5 Water. In this chapter, you have to study where water is found. Water is why water is necessary. Water is necessary for our survival. It continuously changes its form and circulates between oceans and atmosphere. This process is going on and on. It never stops. The major sources of fresh water are rivers, ponds, springs, and glaciers. The oceans are salty or saline as it contains large amount of dissolved salts. The common table salt is sodium chloride. It is found in the ocean waters. And now I'm going to explain the keywords of this chapter. In this video, I will discuss only this. What do you mean by evaporation? Evaporation is the process through which water turns into vapor. When water turns into vapor because of the temperature, because of the sunlight come down on the earth's surface or in a water bodies, it change into water vapor because of the sun. Second is condensation. Condensation is the process in which water vapor turns into water droplets. When water goes up in the form of evaporation, it becomes changed into droplets. That is known as the condensation. Next is a water cycle. How water cycle works, how it on and on. It is the process by which water continuously changes its form and circulates between oceans, atmosphere and then land. This water cycle going on, it works continuously and it never stops. Next is a terrarium. Terrarium is an artificial enclosure for keeping small house plants. They make a small house plants to make a to keep the plants. That is the artificial enclosure they make to keep the plant safe. Now next is a precipitation. What do you mean by precipitation? Falling of moisture in the form of rainfall, snow, sleet, and hailstone. These are the different forms of water. It can be rain in a liquid form, it can be snow in a solid form, it can be sleet or a hailstones. That is known as the precipitation, that is known as the form of a precipitation. In this form, water comes down from the clouds. Next is of waves. When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternatively, they are called waves. You must have seen on the ocean, on the beach water level goes up and down alternatively. Once it will go up and next it will goes down. That is known as the waves. That is a rhythmic waves goes in the ocean water. Next is a tsunami. Tsunami is a huge tidal waves. At the time of tsunami, there was a 9 to 10 meter up waves came in the oceans. That is known as the tsunami. Next is a tide. Tide, there can be two types of tide, spring tides and neap tide. First, you have to understand the meaning of tide. Tide is the rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water that occurs twice in a day. That is known as the tide. The rhythmic rise and fall water when because of the gravitational force of the moon. At the night time, water level goes up and at the daytime, water level goes down. Next is a spring tide. spring tide during the full moon and the new moon days. The sun, the moon, and the earth are in the straight line, in the same line. Then tides become highest. This situation of the sun, moon, and earth in a same line, that is known as the spring tides. Next is a neap tide, when the moon is in its first and last quarter. The ocean waters get drawn in diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pull of sun and the earth, resulting in low tides. These are known as the neap tide. When they make a right angle, that is known as the neap tide. Next is a ocean currents. These are streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite directions is known as the ocean currents. They continuously move in a permanent direction, that is known as the ocean currents. These are occurring in a large oceans. Thank you. Next topic you can see in our next video.